Hey yo everyone, Yat here, and today I want to share my experience of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous with you. Every year, there are one or two games that make me feel, damn, that was an amazing game. In 2021, I felt like I was playing more old games than new ones, but Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous appeared out of nowhere and took me on a journey that I was not ready for. From the story, to combat, to character customization, I want to share with you guys why exactly I enjoyed it so much, and hopefully convince some of you guys to try it too. So without further ado, here are my 8 reasons on why you have to play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Reason number 1, characters and character growth. As someone who's played a lot of RPGs, and believe me, I have played a lot, I know how difficult it is to make a diverse cast of characters feel likable, and more importantly, alive.
Who's that?
Greetings, boys and girls. I am your sister in sin, a devotee.
She looks like one of us.
Thankfully, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous has a cast that I won't be able to forget for years. A diverse cast of characters that will make you absolutely love or hate them thanks to a combination of good writing and well-voiced lines. For example, this is Camellia, who looks like your typical beautiful cold noble who you definitely want to romance. She seems like a trope character, but let's have a deeper look, shall we? She is famous for this particular voice line.
I am helpful, am I not?
But she also has some extremely suspicious voice lines as you explore, such as,
I heed the voice of the spirits. Save the last one for me. I'll cut you wide open. The spirits demand your blood. You are today's sacrifice. Go for their hearts.
Not to mention, she's wearing this bone amulet that you can't unequip, and her alignment is hidden. Or we can look at Darren, who is straight up a rich asshole noble, who can't go more than a single sentence without flaunting his wealth or insulting someone with sarcasm. I personally think he has some of the best written lines in the game, and let me show you why.
I find remembering insignificant details, such as the name of passing acquaintances, such a bore.
You see what I mean? I'm a sucker for these kinds of sarcastic lines, so I really enjoy the conversations. Or how about Ember, who, despite almost being burned at the stake before and about to be killed by soldiers being superstitious for no reason when you first recruit her, keeps preaching for human kindness and wants everyone to live happily and peacefully forever after? Protect. A suspicious waifu, an asshole, and an insane preacher. These are just 3 out of the 20 possible companions, although some of them are route specific. The best part is, they get even deeper as you go through their companion quests. Slight spoiler warning for the next part, since I will be going through the mid-game part of the character stories. If you don't want to get spoiled, skip to the next reason now. Heck, even if a character doesn't seem interesting at first, their companion quests and growth easily add so much more background and depth to them. Remember Camellia, the beautiful but suspicious noble girl I mentioned earlier? Well, it turns out she's a murdering psychopath that gets off from killing people in order to appease spirits. Don't believe me? Listen to this.
Have you ever watched a heart stop in an open chest and known that you were the cause?
Since I was playing a girl character, I wanted to offer my services, but alas, I was rejected because...
Damn it all, I need sex. I won't sleep tonight without a man.
Unfortunate, but it might have been for the best, since staying alive is for the best. Yep. Alignment or morals aside, if that's not an interesting character, I don't know what is. Reason number 2, character customization. The class customization options you have in this game are actually ridiculous. You have 25 starting classes with around 5 subclasses each, and 13 advanced classes that you can grab if you meet certain requirements. There are classes that basically fit every character archetype you can hope for. Range DPS, melee DPS, support, all-around caster, debuffer, a mix of everything? Heck, do you want the power of literal gods to power you up? There are so many options that you will be feeling restart titles often during the prologue until you decide which role you want to actually play. Plus, planning character builds has always been a really fun part of CRPGs, and in a game like this, you can actually invest in whatever class you want every level up, though you probably don't want to sway too far from your main class. If you're having a hard time choosing, or just a little lazy when looking through those walls of texts, I know I was, it's really easy to find spoiler-free builds online that offer a level-by-level guide on where to put points and get skills. Reason number 3, romance. Romance. Waifus. Dates. Beach episodes. As a veteran JRPG player, How could I not pay attention to the waifus in this game? Not gonna lie, I wasn't really expecting anything crazy from the romance here. But oh boy, did it hit hard. Not everyone is romanceable in this game, but you do have some pretty good options. You have your hot succubus mommy Urushalei, who wants to redeem herself for all her past sins as a succubus by learning to be immortal. Want someone more evil or sinister? Spider Girl Wenduag is right there for you. That's right, Spider Girl. What was that? Evil? Sorry. I can't hear you over Spider Girl. She's following you because you're strong, but maybe you can get her to think differently during her romance with you. And then there's the suspicious half-elf Camellia. To be honest, she would have been my first pick, but after all those suspicious lines earlier, who knows what's going to happen during your romance. Just remember that you have to be male if you want to romance her. On the husbando side, you have good guys like Social the Cleric and Lam the Archer, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really paying attention to those. If you need that spark of bad boy, Asshole Dayran is always available for a good tongue lashing, though you might have different tendencies if you're into that. You know what's even better? You don't have to lock in your romances all the way till near the end of the game in Act 5. There are only 6 acts in the game, by the way. In other words, you can experience all the romances that the game can offer until you finally decide who your real lover will be at the end of the game. Not gonna lie, I think this is some of the best romance writing I've seen in a game in a long time. This isn't just a few lines of romance where you end up in a one-time fling, or just a bunch of flirty lines where your partner's trying to please you all day, but a whole journey of mutual understanding and truly accepting the characters for who they are. I don't know why, but it feels like I played a dating sim visual novel without all the fluff and useless cliches that just make me cringe all the time. Owlcats has done an amazing job putting in the essence of a character's definition of love into the few times that you interact and finally get together after finishing their quests. As you explore the world of Golarion, you'll be having conversations and going on dates, and your answers, or roleplay, will determine who you will pick at the end. Reason number 4. Roleplay heaven. Roleplay is a little more difficult in modern games, since you're usually stuck with a character who either already has a personality or doesn't have much of one. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous uses alignment on a good, evil, and lawful chaotic scale, and the choices you are presented with really force you onto this scale. While it's not exactly the most flexible, it's definitely impactful, and in the war-torn world of Pathfinder, you're forced to make big choices. This offers a lot of opportunity to decide what kind of character you really want to play. Want to be a hero who cares about the good of the world and wants to save everyone? Want to play an evil asshole who only cares about himself? Someone who doesn't care about the law but still cares about other people? Maybe something in the neutral range. You can do all of it in this game. Even if you start out as a certain alignment, your choices could move you to a different one, so just pick whatever you want. Your alignment also eventually links you to the Mythic Path system, and around midway through the game, you have the option to choose a Mythic Path, which is basically a superpower with its own quest line. There are a total of 10 Mythic Paths, which range from basic choices like Angel or Demon, but could also go even further with stuff like Devil, Lich, Azata, which are basically fairies, or even Dragon. Each Mythic Path has its own special powers and quest lines. Plus, they change how the important characters interact with you, so your playthrough may not necessarily match up to someone else's. With this many choices, how could you not be in roleplay heaven? Reason number 5. Min-Maxer's Wet Dream. Any Min-Maxer knows the feeling. Spending hours researching, looking through the available skills and numbers. How do I maximize my stats? What are the optimal builds? What if I try this combination of classes and weapons? How about a different spell set? The sheer number of class options, items, weapons, and possible companions means that min-maxers can have a field day trying to optimize their attack and dodge stats. In this game, dodge is calculated via the armor class or AC stat for short, and the more you stack AC, the fewer attacks that will hit you during a fight. In the later parts of the game, it becomes possible to dodge almost everything that comes your way, as long as your AC is stacked high enough from proper builds and items. Classes could give different bonuses, switch which stats are mainly used for attack or AC, and you can even invest in classes that buff stats for the whole party, like bards or skalds. Plus, each mythic path can also give amazing bonuses and unique skills that can really change the way you formulate your strategy or build your party. Figuring out a party composition and specific builds that help the entire party survive and deal damage can easily lead to hours of theory crafting to try out in the game. If you do it right, it feels pretty damn good to one-shot enemies even on the harder difficulties with a big crit, knowing that it was all thanks to your min-maxing. You know what else is great for min-maxing? Clicking the subscribe button, liking the video, or leaving a comment. It really helps the algorithm to get people to see more of my videos. Make sure you subscribe to keep up with more of my content and see my newest videos when they come out. Anyways, back to the video. The only sad part about party building is that you can't respec companions from level 1, but you can get a respec mod that's pretty easy to install. The other sad thing is that you can't change the stats of your companions, but you can hire mercenaries that have no relationship to the story if you're desperate for a min-max party that doesn't care about the companion stories that much. Reason number 6, choices matter. This may be a hot take, but I really think that games that make your choices important to storytelling throughout the entire game are a slowly dying breed. Most modern games force you to play in the perspective of a certain character with their own views and beliefs, which feels more like watching a movie than playing a game during the story portions. Most choices only matter for the most important decisions, mostly at climaxes during certain portions of the game, making them painfully obvious to the player when they are important or not. Heck, sometimes choices don't even matter, and the game makes you feel like your choices didn't really change anything. In Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, even the most seemingly innocent conversations could have an effect in the long run. Is it better to forgive someone who betrayed you before but might betray you again? Is it okay to hurt more people to gain more power? There are no easy answers to these questions, and the game likely won't tell you the answers until tens of hours later. If there's no immediate or obvious reward, I think that it really reveals what kind of character you're playing. What matters then is the choice in front of you and what you believe to be right. This blend of ambiguous decision making and storytelling is what makes the game's decision making blend in so well with the war-torn world of Pathfinder. I think that this is what I've been missing for a long time in modern games. The ability to define myself as a character, or maybe just the ability to define a character that I created. Reason number 7, combat. Combat is the core of most RPGs, and Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous is no exception. Perhaps the biggest difference is that you have to roll a 20-sided die to deal and dodge attacks, which can cause some obviously frustrating issues since you might hit or miss based on slight RNG. However, before you get turned off, know that this can be mostly remedied or mitigated by having a good build, or you can play on easier difficulties. To balance this, the other options for combat have a ridiculous amount of flexibility. You have 56 weapon types, over 100 spells spread across different classes, and all kinds of unique equipment that'll make the game way more interesting. The spells in particular let you do some crazy stuff. You can put some grease on the ground and watch as your opponents fall over and can't get up. You can blind them with glitter dust. You can freeze them. You can turn you or your pets into fucking dragons. You can summon tentacles just like in wait, no. This might not be a good idea. Scratch that. No, you don't need to summon tentacles. Despite any frustrations with rolling, in combat, there are a bajillion ways to crowd control, damage, or buff yourself to deal with enemies. If you just want to play pure melee, that's fine too. There are so many passive skills you can get that make sure that you can really put on the hurt and survive long enough to do so. You can be a sneaky rogue who deals more damage from sneak attacks, or maybe just a pure warrior who can just run up and tear everything in his way down. You can use whatever weapons you want, whether you are dual wielding, two-handing, or have a one-hand weapon plus a shield. Even during battle, if you need to take a breather or understand what's going on, you can switch from real-time with pause mode to turn-based mode with the click of a button. The sheer number of options you have available to you is amazing, and it really allows you to be diverse with your party composition, as long as you're not playing on the hardest difficulties. Experiment with what you think is the most fun, and you'll have a full party with all kinds of effects going on in the battlefield, slaying demons and demon lords as you see fit. Reason number 8, difficulty. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is not a game that will babysit you from beginning to end. In fact, it's more like it will drop you right into a pit full of ferocious demons, literally, and expect you to figure out your way out of there. Even if you play on normal difficulty, expect to find some fights ridiculously hard to win until you figure out how the mechanics work and how to maximize your stats. During my own playthrough, I thought I could play on the core difficulty since I was a veteran CRPG player at that point, and I had played other CRPGs like Divinity Original Sin 2, Tyranny, and Pillars of Eternity 2. But I could not have been more wrong. I struggled, died again, without giving up on this difficulty. But throughout all that frustration, the more I died, the more the pieces slowly clicked together, and at some point I realized I just couldn't stop. If anything, it felt like the sense of achievement you get when finishing difficult fights in Soulsborne games. There's always some kind of answer, whether you need more buffs, better spell usage, or whatever. A difficult puzzle that needs to be solved using all the game mechanics you've learned and can use. Whenever I died, reloaded, and finally got through that one difficult fight, and go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and hours would pass and I wouldn't feel it at all. While there's nothing wrong with playing easy games, I feel like only by playing through really difficult games can you get that sense of achievement, that sense of pride from working out mechanics and clearing through difficult fights. And it's that sense of achievement that makes a good game great, and lets you put hours into the game without noticing. So these are my top 8 reasons why you have to play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I only played a singular 160-hour playthrough, and oh boy, what a journey it was. I think it's been a while since I've really had a game that got me so hooked and made me clock in so many hours. Every time I got off work, all I could think about was, man, I really want to play Pathfinder right now. I'm really thankful that I was able to play this game, so I hope you guys get the chance to try it out too. And thank you, viewer, for watching to the end if you're still here. If you've never played a CRPG before, or never touched a game where you can create a character that truly puts you in control, I highly suggest you give it a try at least once. If you're already a CRPG veteran, this is probably already in your cart or wishlist, so grab it when you get the chance. And if you've already played Pathfinder before, what parts did you love? Which parts are really frustrating? Let me know in the comments below. See us!